All right, folks, we're back. Good guy Golden has mentioned that he's going to try to grab games for us because, again, players will be hopping and going and coming and leaving into their game 2s and game 3s. Thank you very much to Astro Archer for the 11-month resub. And Taryn Blade just hit us up for 12 months. That's 1 year, baby. Woo! About time. Optional player also resub for 20 months. It says, did you hear the Pope caught avian flu? Apparently he got it from one of his cardinals. That's like Rifkin tier of bad joke, man. I approve. But I was actually asking Golden and talking about this too. I didn't realize. So I was like, it's weird. Like, I'm a little bit sad. Like, Innovation and Sue and a couple other guys didn't show up today. And I guess there's no information really on this for the foreigners, but I guess there's some tournament going on Africa right now. And Innovation and Sue are playing. And it's a Korean cast only, no English stream and all that.
Oh, dang.
But apparently they're just like long games, like best of 23s type thing. Apparently like game 11 between Innovation and Sue is happening. So I was like, yeah, I'm not sure where everyone is today. And Golden was just filling me in. So I didn't realize there was another tournament event going on today.
Oh.
But anyways, like we said though, Thursdays are not going to be the regular days for this at all. Oh, hey, score. GuMiho and Crater just got out of game, so we might be able to hop into the next one of them, maybe. Okay, cool. GuMiho is up 1-0 versus Crater, and we'll get into game number 2 of that.
Sounds good.
What is map? Okay, cool. Hopefully I'll get the map so I can host it. If not, they can always host it. But I like being able to use the WCS mod. I think it helps out a lot. The income graph and all that's like kind of cool, but I love having the workers killed tab in the bottom left. I love having the upgrade tab as they're finishing in the right.
Yeah. I've just gotten so used to it that when it's not there, I'm like, is there something wrong with my StarCraft? Is it bugged?
Yeah. Okay, looks like Creator's gonna host, so we'll probably just have to deal with regular old thing. Overgrowth can be the map. Okay. So it is game number 2. Again, Crater is currently streaming his set of matches, guys, from his point of view. He's streaming on Twitch. What I'm going to ask you guys to do with us while we're waiting, however, is let's go give him a bit of a visit. So I'm going to screen region this really quick. This is his stream. Oh, it's in Korean chat mode. We can't do it. Never mind. Feels bad, man. But there's his stream. It's twitch.tv/SC2Creator. Go check it out, guys. It is in Korean chat mode only, so you're not going to type English in it. But give him some love. I love that the Koreans are streaming. Like, you hear me talk about this in all these casts. I benefit nothing from doing this. I can't advertise for them or anything like that. Like, it's just, I love that they're streaming, straight up. I can just have it on second monitor while I'm doing payouts, while I'm doing admin work. Like, it's great. I love it. I really truly do.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome and great for stealing build orders so that I am less bad on ladder. Thank you, based Koreans, for sharing your pro strats.
Sleepy Cod in chat says, Zeph, you awesome bastard. Does that work for a girl? I don't actually know. Can't believe you're a BaseTradeTV regular now. So cool. Keep up the great work. She's like a regular for now with like an asterisk. I'm more than happy to have Zeph come on and join at any given time, guys. But she's
I'm actually here under duress, so
yeah, blink twice if Rifkin's holding you hostage. No, she's got you got work starting up again in a couple weeks, don't you?
Yes, I do. New job.
So unfortunately, we can't hold her till like 3 a.m. in the morning when she has a regular work hour schedule. But it's been great having you on for the last couple of weeks. I certainly missed having you on. It's been a while.
Yeah, I've missed the old base trade. I always have fun here.
Well, guys, we are going to get to game number 2. We did not cast game number 1. We managed to just squeeze in while we were waiting for the other matches to finish up. So, top right side of the map. Again, he's streaming his personal point of view. It is the blue Protoss Creator.
And in the bottom left, in the red trunks, this is GuMiho.
And just a real quick note, guys, this applies to anytime anyone's streaming matches. BaseTradeTV uses the stream delay because we want to make sure people aren't cheating. We do not enforce this on players, though, because we want them to just be able to stream and not have to worry about all this. So that's at their own risk. They know it as well. If you're watching his point of view, do not bring spoilers back to BaseTradeTV. It is the quickest way to get banned on the channel with no remorse.
Herb coming in for a bit of a scout in our Terran buddies base. You'll see the command center just being dropped down, but not too much else to note. Basically, he just gets confirmation that all the structures are in his base where they should be.
You know, just gotta bring up the fact that this is Overgrowth. We've been seeing some weird emphasis on tanks on this map, and I'm wondering if GuMiho is gonna be one of those guys. Whether it's the straight up pushes or whether it's the attacks from over here to the side of the natural. We've just been seeing a lot of Terran players really like using tanks on this map.
Yeah, that's a good point actually, because you have that little ledge that you can abuse if you so wish, but otherwise you can do a frontal push. It's a pretty good map for that kind of early drop, and then you follow up with like a liberate, and then you follow up with 2 tanks, that kind of push as well. So we'll see what GuMiho actually selects.
Well, GuMiho used to be a pretty big mech player too, so I imagine like those types of units are something he would favor. But as the Cyclone comes out first, looks like we will be having a bit of a mini push. A couple Marines and a Cyclone can get a lot done.
Oh yeah, we saw some devastating Cyclone games in the past week or so. Hopefully that's not the case here, because I'd love to see more games from Creator. I used to adore this guy back when I was a Prime fangirl. He was one of the only Protosses I enjoyed watching, so me being selfish here, I would love to see more games out of him. But you know, Cyclones are difficult to deal with, so we'll see what happens once it rolls out here to deal some damage.
It's interesting. He's spreading for scouting right now. He's looking for some proxies before moving out. Again, the Cyclone shines most early on when there's not a lot of units to compete with it. When it got the 60 health buff, you know, going from 120 to 180, that was really nice. It made it a lot more durable, even against units that deal bonus damage like Stalkers. But just its new attack, look at that, it's brutal. It doesn't matter whether it's a light unit, whether it's a armored unit. Apparently the greatest unit in the Terran arsenal going to the year 20 million is beehives. This Reaper being really annoying.
Yeah, this is actually a nice touch. It's not a lot. It's not a big unit. It doesn't do a lot of damage.
Ooh, but it does
it's
get a nice scout.
Yeah, that's true as well. I mean, he has so few units that having to ration them between the Reaper and the Cyclone is a real annoyance at this point. But he does handle it very well. Doesn't? Did he even lose the Stalker in the end?
No, got down to like 1 health. Only the Reaper died.
Yeah.
3 health, excuse me. The Herb and Derpin just reset for 12 months, by the way. So it says, esports been saved yet? Not if you're capitalizing the S, it hasn't. But thank you for the 12 months. Of course, if you guys have subbed to the channel for 12 months, don't forget you are eligible for a real-life Partoof. Make sure to send us a direct message on the channel. Not a whisper, a direct message on the channel. So we can get you guys a form to fill out. Get you one of them Partoofs. But the medevac's going to add a certain element of micro. This actually wraps around and goes to the main. And 2 Cyclones can get a lot of damage done really quick, whether it's killing a pylon, probes, and of course with some half-decent micro, you can juke out a lot of those Stalker shots too, but not thinking it's worth the risk, decides to pull away.
Yeah, save that for a rainy day and you might be able to do a little bit more damage with it. This thing about the Cyclones is that they're always going to be useful as long as you keep them alive, so that is a good start nonetheless. It's a bit of a shame for GuMiho not being able to get too much damage done in the early game. He has been poking, but Creator's defense has been really good. He is following up with those couple of tanks though. That's where things get a little bit sticky because the mech units are just so good. And if you position them well and back Creator into a corner, he's going to have a really, really hard time breaking out of that sort of soft-contained situation you can end up with.
Well, top side of the map, 3rd base gets taken. This was sadly just barely missed by GuMiho. Saw some of the army and walked away. But his army is looking pretty damn impressive. 2 tanks, a couple of Cyclones. It is worth noting most of these units can actually take the hit from that disruptor kind of cool to see a disruptor as the priority. Talk more about that in a moment from Creator, but tanks setting up won't die to one shot. Cyclones won't die to one shot. It's only the Marines that are really in danger, and they shouldn't be all that in danger. It's very much Creator I'm scared for here. The scan confirms there's almost nothing to defend this base. That pylon with 2 siege tanks and 2 cyclones, hell, just 2 cyclones alone attacking, it's going to go down real quick. Nice force fields does almost, oh, it does get one of the cyclones.
Indeed, it does. The other one being microed with the medevac. Nicely done there, and it looks like you should be able to deny that third base. It does get cancelled, but at the same time, 3 adepts being dropped with the Warp Prism in the natural of GuMiho. GuMiho already has a few units there to deal with it, but it's not a lot in the scheme of things, and some SCVs are getting taken out.
Yeah, Liberators give chase, but Liberators trying to kill a Warp Prism. I'll see you in 20 years. Here's the question. What takes longer to kill something? 1 Liberator attacking a Warp Prism, 1 Cyclone attacking a Mutalisk, or 1 Zergling killing rocks, right? Like,
oh my god.
they're all just equally slow to kill, but will eventually get the job done. He does pick off that Warp Prism. Still is nicely positioned over here. I would love to see him take advantage of this ledge we've discussed a lot about in the past. And looks like he is going to head that direction. Time Warp.
Nice.
For the first time ever, might have caught some units. Never mind, JK. Just kidding.
Yeah, good joke. Instead it loses its life.
Got him.
But with the disruptors out now, he does have to back out of there and be really careful. I was actually asking Igus just yesterday if people even make disruptors anymore, because it doesn't seem to be the stylistic choice for a lot of players at the moment. But glad to see creators throwing them out here.
I had an interesting interaction with Igus on Twitter just earlier, actually.
I think
talk
that's
on
how
that.
most characters go.
Well, Igus is like my biggest fan when it comes to drunk tweets, apparently. He's like the only one who cheers me on and encourages me to tweet more while I'm drunk. But no, Maru was tweeting about this. For those who don't know, right now in-game, if you select one of the portraits or one of the workers, you'll get a Diablo portrait celebrating like the 20 years of Diablo or whatever. But Maru didn't know this, and Maru tweeted a picture where he was talking to Snoot, says, "Why are all my SCVs look different? I have the Diablo portrait. It's not the normal girl portrait." I'm like, bro, you know that SCVs are not girls, right? Like, tell me that you know those are not girls. And Igus is just kind of like, yeah, I think the mustache gives it away. Okay, big drop coming in. Cannon going to buy a little bit of time, but not going to stop this dead in tracks. Looks like the tank is going to go down. Nice disruptor hit. And I don't know whether people are making disruptors as a common thing or not. It hasn't been common, at least on the channel, but these disruptors have not been bad out of Creator so far.
Yeah, they certainly do well, especially in conjunction with Colossi, but he's not getting that far just yet. He's too busy dealing with this harass from GuMiho. And let's not forget, GuMiho has a third base. Creator hasn't been able to secure his quite so quickly. It is mining now, but he's having a hard time dealing with this harass. Like, GuMiho's not doing huge damage, but he is picking off a little bit here and there. And, I mean, these medevacs are still here, while the second force is actually heading out on the left-hand side of the map.
Yeah. Thank you, by the way, to yo boy Vic for the Twitch Prime sub. Glad to have you on board. There's adepts transfer on in from the bottom right, and there's nothing to defend in the third, so GuMiho's going to lose a lot of workers if he's not paying attention. It looks like initially he was not paying attention, so that kind of stings. Army should be able to clean this up. I guess those drops you talked about earlier, though, while they weren't doing a lot of damage, they were keeping Creator's main forces at home. Because I gotta be honest, if Creator had pushed with this, I think he would have actually beaten GuMiho in a straight-up fight.
Creator's killed 26 workers. He's done so much damage with this adept harass. He's doing so well with that. 34 SCVs to 54 probes. He's trying to take a fourth base right now, and if he gets that, he's going to be looking pretty darn sweet, because GuMiho, while he's harassing and trying to do stuff, he's actually not gaining a lot of ground here.
I love the way he brought his forces in to get those medevacs safely on in. He will push back this base. Sniping off the third. This will help make up for those worker losses, no doubt about it. But there's still workers being killed on the other side of the map, and GuMiho has not gone back to safely mining. So while this was a big pickoff and a nice snipe, oh, he gets the disruptors in the middle. While this is going on, he's still bleeding out back at home. Another big warp into the natural base. Look at all those adepts.
Wow, yeah, GuMiho just actually can't deal with that right now. A lot of the reinforcements can get picked off by those adepts when they stroll on out, because most of them are Marines for the moment. And now he's all sort of messed up because he's got a chunk of units on the other side of the map. He can't turn around and come home because it'll be a waste of time.
Oh, these overcharges. Oh, 2 of them go down pretty quickly.
Oh.
Creator's doing a fantastic job on the other side of the map, though. These Adepts have seriously slaughtered almost all the SCVs, down to 25 workers. Creator's got that third base coming back up, and looks like he's starting to stabilize a little bit at home. It took some time, but finally getting rid of this. Oh, these Widowmine hits, no! Oh, take out those Stalkers. Feels really good if you're Terran right now, but not so much about here. GuMiho's got 3 command centers worth of mules, but that's got to make up for how many SCVs dead now? 40 SCVs dead.
Yeah, it's gonna be super hard to come back from this position if you can at all. He's, what's that? 50 supply down on Creator, and he's not really got much of an army left. Creator, nice time in the Colossus there, but Creator's still got a lot left. This is only a fraction of his force. More Stalkers blink in, targeting down the medevacs. There's no healing on these Marauders, and he's basically looking to kill GuMiho at this stage.
Yeah.
There is not a lot left for our Terran players.
Yeah, if GuMiho's 40 army supply was all purely in Marauders, he might actually have a chance here. Unfortunately, with the mishmash of like a couple of Marines, couple of medevacs, couple of Marauders, it's not going to be enough to take on the brute force numbers of Creator. I mean, 2-2 upgrades are nice. GuMiho has got an upgrade lead coming into this, but it's oh so barely, and I don't think enough to really truly matter.
Yeah, he's holding on well, all things considered, but he basically has to win the game with the army that he has left, because there's no way that he can start expanding again at this point. There's no way that Creator would ever let that happen. So while Creator just goes home, regroups, his third base is up and running again, it's mining. There is a single Widow Mine in his third base that he hasn't dealt with yet, but I don't think he's too worried about that, considering how well he's going elsewhere on the map.
It takes the third to the middle of the map. It's actually the main lifted, which kind of, again, already a sore thing to have to do in the first place. That Warp Prism comes in, and it is a little bit low, but it's also going to find there's not a lot for it to kill. He's already killed most of everything. So back home on the other side of the map, he's got to focus on this. And I think the kiting and the Widow Mines could get something done, but there's still just so many numbers out of Creator. Like the actual army value aside, there's more units on the field for one than the other. GuMiho's Marauders are extra good against Stalkers, but there's a wall of Adepts soaking those hits for them, so they're not going down. If he could focus fire down the Stalkers, kind of like you would Banelings, this could look a little bit different. Oh, and then the Disturber hit almost catches all the Marauders, forced to pick up and drops, so loses some. That's where you really wish you had picked up all those Stalkers.
Yeah, I don't understand how GuMiho is still fighting here. I really thought that that last push was kind of it, but somehow he still has a few units left. He's still got a little bit of medevac energy, and Creator hasn't really replenished his forces in a large number. He's going for more disruptors, more Adepts, more Stalkers. It looks like now might be the last hurrah for GuMiho.
What's really interesting is the army supplies are both so low. This looks almost like an early game fight rather than a late game fight. They're both so desperate for everything. And while GuMiho was in a bit of trouble because of the way his third went out and played, let's not forget Creator's kind of in that same boat, right? Like it's really easy to lose scope of the situation, but Creator's third was sniped and it took him a while to get that new one down. Both players are only really mining off of one base. Well, not GuMiho anymore. This is like the SCV pull of desperation, but this is actually not so surprising it came down so close, but this was a great map and a great game out of Creator to tie it up now 1-1 with GuMiho.
All right, TT. It's a pretty active game. There's a lot going on there.
We're going to find out what Game 3 is here in just a moment. Hopefully this time we'll be able to host it with some WCS GameHeart mods. While this goes on, Biel still does not have an opponent yet. Impact and Alive still playing out their side of the bracket, but I'm hoping the semifinals will be good to go once we're done with this one. We're going to take a couple of minutes, though, while we get this lobby set up, so don't go anywhere, guys. Back in 2. See you soon. All right, folks, welcome back. We're getting into game number 3. It's been tied up 1-1 here for the BTSL. I'm Rifkin, casting with Zeph. And spawning here in the southern spawn location, it's going to be the Red Protoss Creator.
And up in the north, he's the Blue Terran, GuMiho.
GuMiho looked really good even in death for that last game. I'm not so surprised he was up 1-0 when we joined in, but it was definitely cool to watch Creator bring that back from such a, let's be honest, like harrowing position. Being down a game versus a player like GuMiho before the game even starts is scary, but then like a lot of the early game stuff was a bit wonky, I gotta say. And the fact that that late game army looked scrappy on both sides, like that was a really cool game. I love when StarCraft is close, not when it's necessarily good.
Yeah, no, I think these guys seem pretty evenly matched, all things considered, and I do also think that Protoss are having a hard time against Terran, particularly in the early game at the moment.
Yeah, we're
So,
watching some really good Protoss struggle against this. By the way, we do have people in chat asking about your shirts once again. You want to lay some knowledge bombs on how cool you are, Zeph?
why do you sound so sarcastic when you say like how
No!
cool you are?
That
Wow,
was
you're
not supposed
bullying
to.
me on stream.
That
So
was like the
mean.
hype man building you up. That wasn't sarcasm.
Wow. Sure thing, chicken wing. Yes, it's an Event Unfold shirt. I have like 10 of them. I'm a super fan. So if I'm casting, that's probably what I'm wearing.
Context here, like if I was being sarcastic, I'd be like, tell them how cool you are, Zeph. Like, so cool.
Oh, okay, so that's your sarcasm, boys. I'll
Well,
follow
in
that with
fairness,
later.
like 99% of what I do is sarcasm, so I don't blame you on this one.
Yeah. It's alright, I already emailed the sponsors about this cyberbullying.
Oh, okay. We have some bracket updates while this goes on, by the way. Stats has advanced in the top side, and Impact has advanced in the bottom. So we're going to have a ZVZ with Impact versus Buell, and the top side could be Stats versus either GuMiho or Creator. Oh, that photon overcharge was savage. GuMiho didn't get to see anything with that.
Wow. Rip. Oh well. There's always chance for more scouting later, I guess, for Reaper. He's actually heading out with an SCV after that.
Hey, sorry, I gotta interrupt you real quick. Have you done something with your mic? You've gone quite quiet suddenly.
No?
Okay, don't touch anything on your end. I'm gonna fiddle with on mine. Bring it up a bit.
Alright.
Okay, go on.
Lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, there was an SCV coming out scouting for GuMiho for anything like proxied from Creator, but Creator on the other hand, he's just moved out with an Adept, doing a similar sort of poke at his opponent's base. The SCV does survive, and I don't think that Adept caught wind of the Cyclone or anything, so it's basically the same opener as the last game in the beginning, but we do have an Oracle opener for Creator this time.
I mean, this is very similar to that last game push in terms of just like a Cyclone coming out early, but the difference is like there's a Widowmine and a quick Hellion and a drop behind it. I really want to see how GuMiho uses this. Unfortunately, the Cyclone will not be able to move past these two Adepts. You can certainly fight with them, but I think having this with the support of the army afterwards is more valuable. I don't know. Like, he opens the doorway, but is that worth it? He might even lose the Cyclone for it. If he pulls back now, he might get away, but no, he's just going to hold his position, hold the line, and try not to die. Rest in pepperonis, dude.
Yeah, hard decision to make there. I was gonna die either way. His Hellion gets taken out super fast as well.
No, but it burned the overcharge, which is really important because here we go with a Widowmine and 6 Marines, and what's here to fight but one overcharged-less Mothership Core and an Adept. Other side of the map, it's actually a bit of a problem. Looks like this Oracle got in and picked off about 6 of the SCVs so far, but a Widowmine out should keep this from getting too out of hand.
Well, that said, there is another Oracle coming as well, so this is that awkward situation where you've got to both attack and defend at the same time. There are Adepts ready to go to help handle this drop, but not enough just yet with that medevac support.
What this does, though, is the Oracle has to come home, and not for damage, but for detection. That Widowmine will sit here all day otherwise. There's no Robo, there's no Forge, the only detection's Revelation from this Oracle, so there we go, that'll clean up the Widowmine. This also keeps it from going across the map, so indirectly defends at the same time. Pylon getting focused down is a little bit funny to see. The Phoenix chases off the medevac, and looks like a couple more Marines rallied down the middle of the map, but GuMiho can't really do too much more.
No, and Creator got 11 worker kills out of that. It's really a bit sticky for GuMiho to be down almost 20 workers on his opponent at this stage. And he's starting to regain some comfort now. He's got a Viking out. He's trying to keep that Oracle away. He's got turrets in his mineral lines. But his own harassment really didn't get much done. And Creator is taking a third base now as well.
If the intention of the Cyclone and the Hellion were purely to burn an overcharge, then, you know, in that terms, mission accomplished. But I think if the Cyclone had been elevated up and the Marines with it on that ledge, he could have actually had just a lot more straight up fighting and staying power. Unfortunate to lose it the way he did. Now, the Stargate makes for a lot of problems, and I don't mean because of the Oracles, but definitely because of the Phoenix. Also, this leads Crater down a tech path that can possibly get to Tempest should Liberators become a problem, because I know you had already mentioned that the early game is a bit of an issue for some Protoss, but the late game is, I think, even more so. Once you start having so many Liberators out, all with that extended thermal, or not extended thermal, excuse me, I can't remember the range upgrade is my point. They become so hard to deal with. Advanced ballistics, that's what it's called. Excuse me, my brain is apparently not working today.
That one. I just make up names for upgrades and structures when I forget, to be honest. People get the gist.
I like 50-50 on it, because I feel like a lot of people who are newer to StarCraft or don't follow it hardcore won't know what advanced ballistics are, but they'll know what Liberator range is.
Well, yeah, even I don't think I've ever called it advanced ballistics in my life. The same way I've never called, like, the robotics. See, this is why I don't call it that. I call it the Colossus Den, because I can never remember which one's the robotics bay and which one's the facility.
Those were some smooth moves, by the way. I like that out of Creator. That wasn't like an, oh my god, will he make the mistake with the adapts? Like, you knew he was going to try and swoop those up, so that was cool. Pushing out, though, Revelation, as we can see out of Creator's vision, gets nice views on this army, so he knows what's coming, and he sees the Cyclone and the Vikings and everything with it. I think that the Phoenixes are a problem if you get a lot of them, but right now we don't really have a lot of them.
Yeah, not really. There's enough though to wreak some havoc. I like that stasis ward, very cheeky.
If it works, it'll catch a lot of the army, but...
Yeah, it's kind of a weird position. It's like the opposite to where GuMiho is actually going to be. And he's actually going to go for a bit of a doom drop in the main. The Phoenixes can't catch up in time.
Oh god, but you're dropping to a nest of pylons. You just hope, and the mothership, of course, nowhere nearby. She's got 4 overcharges ready to go, so he's going to focus it down the walk away from the pylons a little bit, but the Adepts transfer through. The Phoenixes are going to massacre the medevacs. He's got to get away from this army.
I feel like that was a very questionable decision from GuMiho. When this Phoenix is out and a lot of Adepts, it's not that hard for him to catch up, but at the same time, he's trying to take some shots off at this third base with what he had left.
I'm not so convinced about Doom drops either, unless you've got Widow Mines or tanks or something going with it, like something bigger and harder hitting. But as these Adepts transfer through, those are 2 Widow Mines that are very nicely positioned. Oh, they don't get the hits though. Only one goes off, so a bit of a mini EMP, but not as devastating as it could have been. GuMiho will trade out the best he can with these Adepts, but looks like Crater will hold and push back.
Oh man, I love the Phoenix play for Protoss. Just so much utility. The medevac count is still somehow at 5. I feel like surely more of them died than that, but regardless, like GuMiho's gonna have to keep an eye on those and be really mindful about microing them back, because it makes it so hard to keep your army alive, and he picks out the Marauders. Anything worth a damn is exactly what those Phoenixes are going to be looking to pick at.
I'm on board with you about the Phoenix play, by the way. That's why I was really sad when Youngsik went to Overwatch. He was like the Phoenix guy, right? Him and Phoenix and Colossus, like all synonymous. But while this goes on, we do have this Warp Prism sneaking around the top side and looking to hit the main. I guess the small upside is GuMiho has transferred a lot of his workers over at this point. He doesn't have a lot to get picked off.
Yeah, there's a lot of places that he can still land and do damage. Just gotta be careful with the missile turrets. And there's the Adept harass starting up. This is what really won Creator the game last time. This time GuMiho is ready for this particular drop, but if he continues this, he could definitely do a lot of damage. At the same time, the Adepts are in the third base. And oh my god, Creator's taken down like 22 workers at this point, possibly still climbing.
Even though the workers have been killed pretty heavily and GuMiho's not the greatest worker count, going to the income graph, it hasn't actually, like, it has been Creator's game in terms of income, but Mules have kept GuMiho in this pretty darn well, I gotta say. His production hasn't been hurt too bad, his army supply is still doing just dandy, so while this is, oh, this is gonna suck. While this has been sucking in a couple of regards, he's still in this, he's not out just yet. As reinforcements funnel in one at a time too. Oh, the Phoenix are picking him off. Bullies!
Yeah, it's going to be tough to recover from here. He actually just doesn't have enough units to cover all 3 bases at once. More Adepts are about to shade into the third base, and Creator's taking a 4th base behind this. So not only is he doing all this harassment, but gives him complete control of the map, and GuMiho can't do anything except stay at home and try and fight this. He's actually losing to Phoenixes. There's not enough things to shoot up While the Adepts get cleaned up in the third base, the ones in the
Oh.
natural are still doing so much work.
Yeah, and the fact that these Phoenix have picked up basically all the medevacs at this point, that's game. GG. Creator's going to advance on, and we're going to have a PvP and a ZVZ semifinals, respectively. So, guaranteed ZVP finals for one, which is pretty cool. But I believe Impact and Biol have been waiting longer, so we're probably going to get into that one first.
Alright, I'm keen. ZVZ, my one true love.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
All right. We'll do Biol versus Impact, then Creator versus Stats. So ZVZ into a PvP into a ZVP Grand Finals. We couldn't lay this out better for you guys. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy. And we'll see you guys here in a couple of minutes.